Here on Times Now. 1 minute, gentlemen, 1 minute. Mr. BVR Subrahmanyam, looking at this budget, yes, it is a consolidation budget. A few more things, always dil mange more, a few more things that could have been done. Many say, disinvestment is a big miss if the envelope had been pushed on that. How do you see this budget in the context of making India an Atmanirbhar Bharat, as well as pushing the envelope to increase manufacturing to the next level?
Okay. So, thank you, Navika. Let me tell you one thing. This budget actually should be seen as a part of a three-stage budget. You have to read this budget along with the budget of last year and the year before. The budget of 2 years ago was about jobs and employment. The budget of last year was about manufacturing. People are missing out. This budget is actually heavily focused on services. It's from one end to the other, if you see, the great emphasis on services, and in manufacturing, it is building up of what was announced last year and greater consolidation. I think that is the structure of the budget if you read it very carefully. And most of the initiatives which are there in the budget either push the services sector or they build up and strengthen whatever has been done in manufacturing, achieved so far, and to take it forward. I think that's the way this budget should be seen. We shouldn't see it all the time only through one lens or two lenses. Let me just explain why I'm calling it a services budget, and that's very, very important. She's talked about setting up a standing high-powered committee on services. It's not a usual committee because in services is one sector where there is no single ministry responsible for it. And look at the announcements that come out after that. We are talking about 5 medical hubs. These are not medical hubs for treatment of your citizens alone. These are about treatment of people from around the world. She's talked about 5 university cities. They are nothing but 5 education hubs. Maharashtra has just announced one, and she said she'll fund these 5 medical hubs and these 5 university cities in a challenge mode. She's gone on to say a lot of things on tourism. She's talked about 3 Indian institutes of Ayurveda. In sports, she's talked about not just a Khelo India mission, but a sports goods manufacturing initiative. She's talked about the orange economy in the Indian Institute of Creative Technologies in Mumbai, 15,000 schools, 500 colleges to create a huge cadre of people who are going to be in the creative economy. And a lot of tax reform has focused on the services. You know, the safe harbor provision for GCCs, where she's reduced it to 15% and raised the cap to 2,000 crores. That is purely for GCCs, which employ more than 2 million people right now. She's talked about the play for data centers, a tax holiday up to 2047. That is to grab the growing data center market in the world and make India a center for data. So people are just missing the larger picture that is there in the budget, which is about services. On manufacturing, yes, a lot of announcements were there last time. We had a national manufacturing mission, which is just about to be launched any moment. It's in the final stages. And look at the new things she's added: a biopharma mission, a semiconductor mission, which is a consolidation of an earlier one. She called it Semicon 2.0. There is a electronic components thing. It's a huge success, oversubscribed 3 times. She's expanding it from 20,000 to 40,000 crores. She's talked about dedicated chemical parks, a container manufacturing mission, sports goods, as I mentioned earlier. So in manufacturing, don't fix it if it ain't broke, and add on new areas. And a lot of initiatives, not only in direct financial support, but through customs as well as tax relief to highly labor-intensive sectors like leather, for textiles, you know, all those raising a lot of customs exemptions which are there, are also focusing manufacturing. So if you see, bulk of what has to be done has been done in the past. The economy is responding. The manufacturing growth has been very, very satisfactory last time. It's the green shoots of investment are happening. It's just supporting that process to move forward. I think that's the way this budget. And then I'll call it a budget for Vikasit Bharat, in the sense, this is not a budget of a poor country. It's a budget of a middle income country. I think that's the big thing. And if you read all three as a package, this actually comes out very, very strong. And the focus on what are the future needs. We had announced an urban challenge fund earlier. Now she's announced that she will support cities as economic regions. 5,000 crores per city in a challenge mode. That's large. That's to actually make Mumbai a New York. That's to make Surat and Amsterdam, about making Visakhapatnam a Singapore. That is where the vision is there in the budget. I'm sure it will come out more when they have the press conference at 3 o'clock.
Well, fair, to have our targets there, but our municipal and local body infrastructure is giving way. Some headway has been made with the announcement on the bonds for municipalities. But Mr. BVR Subrahmanyam, the question many are asking this time is, why are the markets in the red? Have they failed to understand what's in the budget, which is why they continue to be in the red, number one? And number two, the question many are asking is, as far as long-term capital gains is concerned, or STT, both have stayed where they are. The impetus to FIIs, the fact that they're pulling out, not quite addressed. How do you respond to that criticism?
Okay, on the FII, I have a very simple answer. If you look at the total aggregate value of the FII money still in India, it's larger than what it was earlier, even if you look at last 1 year. So what is people are encashing on a very, very booming capital market, which we have. But if you look at the gross total FPI within the country today, the value of their assets in India is higher than what it was a year ago. So the $18 billion which people say have left India, it's nothing but encashing a certain boom which is happening. But the total value of FPI holdings in India is higher than what it was. That's number one. Number two, these are all also governed by larger global trend. The other is, if you see the investment atmosphere or ecosystem is what is relevant. It's relevant for domestic as well as for foreign. And a couple of big things. In India, people have not been complaining about tax rates. It's about tax policy. The new tax law is coming into effect in 1st of April. She said that. But more importantly, she has talked about decriminalizing a lot of provisions in the current tax system, which is yet to come into effect from 1st April. So they're already doing the course correction, and a lot of penalties have been converted to fees. She's talked about a lot of routine stuff which is criminalized. Even in the new act, she's removed that. And a lot of process simplification she's talked of. So I think it's the process which is the deterrent in tax, not the rates. So I don't see that as a hurdle at all. And I actually see FDI now gradually picking up. See, there are two things about FDI. How is the ecosystem and how do you attract it? I think the ecosystem has been set in place. I think the National Manufacturing Mission and other initiatives, one of the tasks that are going to be assigned to them is to attract big ticket investment. Just
but
like
that
Apple
hasn't happened.
Huge
domestic private sector hasn't really stepped up investment, and isn't that a problem area?
Yeah, if you see the last quarter, you can see the domestic private investment is gradually picking up. You see, the investment will happen once their utilization or capacity utilization rates are here. They were roughly about 75%. That is creeping up, and now that is translating into investment intention. I see 26-27 as a good year when we'll see an investment boom, and that is being sustained by the capex investment of the government. I mean, it's not only tripled in the last 6-7 years. I mean, she's maintaining that tempo. She's crossing 12 lakh crores this year. All that will finally now show up, and we're very, very hopeful that it will show up as investment in the economy.
Well, on that note, thank you very much, Mr. BVR Subrahmanyam, for joining me